Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and today I've got some thoughts on this Milwaukee M12 Right-Angle Drill. And what this thing is it's a standard kind of M12 configuration drill, but at a very short right angle. And if you actually measure this thing, here's your profile. It's about 4 inches, a little under 4 inches there. Obviously more with a drill bit. And so something I've discovered is I don't have a whole lot of stubby drill bits that will actually work well with this thing. But I do use it in tight spaces and actually in RV and pickup work. I find it's kind of good if I'm doing any additional drilling into a bed or doing a bunch of screws up against a corner. It actually works pretty well. According to Milwaukee's website, these are torque settings. So this is full on, which is supposedly 100 inch-pounds. And then this apparently is dials back. You can also see that there's an indicator here for the battery life. I wish this was a fuel drill and a little bit better. This is a 2.0. I have trouble reading that in some light, so I write it a little bigger on some of the batteries. But what I did is I put I think a 6mm 1/4 inch drive bit in here, and then I hooked it up to a torque wrench. And so you can see that I'll turn this down to 2. And I've set this at, I think it's 50 inch-pounds. So what it did is it's clicking it. So 50 inch-pounds seems to be a minimum. If I crank this guy up, let's go up here to maybe 80. And let's see where... Don't know why I'm being precise about it. There's 80. Okay, it's not clicking. So 2, so I can 4. That's about it. So 6 is about 80. So it doesn't have a tremendous range. It goes from about 50, halfway's 80, so we can assume that's about 90 at 8, and then full on is 100 inch-pounds. But anyway, overall, not a bad tool. I do like this switch better than a lot of other Milwaukee switches where they might have some little release and then you have to push, kind of like on the die grinder. Quick reverse right here. Decent size. You know, it does have to have a motor and a drivetrain and a battery and everything in it. And the chuck is one of these that you can easily do yourself quite easily with your hand. But overall, it's a very handy tool. I wish it was a little bit more powerful and maybe a little bit less torquey. Believe it or not, of all the things, it would be nice if you could take this down to maybe 20 inch-pounds or something like that for some screws. But, you know, beginning at 50, that's a lot. That's pretty high, but I guess they did design it more as a drill than a screwdriver. But overall, great. I do love these. I'm going to throw this in, these Milwaukee Cobalt bit set. This is bit set here. I love these things. They work really well. In fact, they grab almost too well, so sometimes you have to be quite restrained so you don't let the thing dive right through your workpiece. Not the cheapest, but not the most expensive. I haven't had any problems with these guys, and they sell them in a pretty solid case with a tripod mount, so you could put a magnet on it, I guess. But what I've discovered is I probably need some stubby drill bits to really get the use of this, because as you can see, even with this 1/4 inch one here, I've lost a lot of my you know, my short space, confined space work. So what I need are drill bits that are, you know, 1 inch long or less. So that's on my list. But anyway, if you have seen these around and been wondering, that's my thoughts. It's really handy for certain things, especially in confined spaces. It does fit well in the hand. It's easy to use. It's nice and torquey, as I tested out here, starting at 50 inch-pounds on up to 100. You can put a bigger battery on it, but that kind of almost starts to defeat the purpose of a of a tool like this. But anyway, when you use something like this, you know, it's a special purpose tool, so you don't want to go into the job thinking you've got some, you know, tremendous drill like the regular one. It's just a basic drill. Pretty lightweight, jams up, or stops. I don't know if it's jamming up, but it stops quite often. Sometimes when I get wedged into hardwood or something. But overall, I'm glad they came out with it. I do expect it to be better, and I'd like to see a fuel version. And with that, Doc out.